No one is going to save you. So put on your big girl pants and face those problems, because only you can fix it and only you can fix you. No one else can do that for you. Some examples that I had within my experiences in my 20s is that, I had to be the one to get myself out of my own credit card debt, um, as well as just being even committed to budgeting in my finances and learning about what I needed to do and realizing what I was doing wrong. um, that was just something that I had to just step up and realize what I needed to do to fix all those things. Another one is also learning how to do car maintenance and where do I go to just fix certain different things, because there are certain places that can fix my tires or that can fix my brakes, and there's also places that can do all of that, but it just charges a lot of money. So it's learning to be smart and doing your research in those things as well too. And people will tell you what they want you to do, but at the end of the day, you need to be the one to want that change and to commit to those changes in order to help yourself and keep yourself accountable to those actions and being determined to wanting that change.
It's totally okay to not know what you want to do with your life and what you want to do within a career. Because honestly, guys, like, I kind of hate that, like, the school system, like, forces you to choose what you want to do with your life after you graduate from high school, because I'm not gonna lie to you, I had no idea what I wanted to do after I graduated college. I mean, don't get me wrong, I knew what I was extremely passionate about, but I felt like I didn't have the resources to go pursue it at the time of being 18. I mean, if you don't know, my passion was singing when I was a teenager and even ever since I was a kid. And don't get me wrong, I still love to sing, but would I have want to be a singer now? I don't really think so. Like, I love it as a hobby and being able to just have a form of it to be able to express myself with it, and also being skillful in it, because a lot of people are very surprised when they find out that I can sing. Don't get me wrong, I'm not Ariana Grande, I'm not Beyonce, okay? But I know that I have the ability to sing. But anyways, going back to when I was 18, I had no idea what I wanted to do. And I feel like, looking back now, the biggest advice I could give is to just go after what makes you feel passionate, what makes you feel, curious and wonder, and in a sense that it just feels easy for you, that you want to learn this, and that you feel the energy of being gravitated towards it. One of my biggest examples would be majoring in psychology. And don't get me wrong, like, I actually didn't know what I wanted to do when I was in my first year of college. I went to like 2 years of being undeclared within college. And don't get me wrong, I didn't choose to go to college. I had to go to college because it wasn't an option, okay? My parents were just not letting me say no to not going to college. So for my first 2 years, I was undeclared, and I just took the basic general education courses, which is just like the math, the science, writing, and then you have your in-between classes of whatever you would like to choose to take. And I knew I was interested in music, art, and I was interested in psychology because I had never taken a psychology class before. And I remember at the time, one of my friends in college she was taking a college she was taking a psychology course that she was saying how it's really good. This professor is wonderful. Like, you should try to get into the course. And so I magically wound up being in that course, and it was like higher than a 100 level psychology course. And I wound up really loving that class. And I loved it so much, and that professor so much, that I would try to take psychology classes with her, just because I just love the way she taught psychology, and it made me feel very drawn to the topic as well too. Since um, your girl really likes to, dive deep into all the, very deep and dark questions about life and your existence and why you are the way that you are. So, because of that one course and that professor, I fell in love with psychology, and I wound up majoring in psychology. So, I think from that experience, that is what I mean by going after something that you are passionate about and that you are curious about and that you want to learn. Don't get me wrong, like, there were definitely some psychology classes that I was like, what the heck am I doing? Like, what is this? But I learned to realize which parts within psychology am I really good at and what am I not really good at. And one of the biggest things that I was not good at was doing stats and doing research about statistics. That was just not my jam at all. But that's okay. Like, it can be for someone else. So that would be my advice. But when it comes to career and job wise, I'm not gonna lie to you, I went through a lot of jobs in order to get to where I am now. And looking back, I always was just super hard and critical on myself because I wanted to be in a career already where I'm, where I can grow, where I feel appreciated and I feel passionate about what I do, and I work with wonderful people. But it took a lot of trial and error of different types of jobs in order for me to figure out what I truly don't like and what I really do like. And I think the best, insight that I can give you is that a job is a job at the end of the day, and you're going to have to choose what shit sandwich you're going to eat every single day. And it's not about, you know, pushing yourself down to work at a job that you don't like. That is not what I'm trying to tell you to do. I am trying to tell you that a job will always have its ugly parts, whether it's wonderful and you love it. Like, even the job I'm at right now, I do enjoy my job, but there are days where, I am very overwhelmed. It's very chaotic and I'm very stressed out, and also I feel really anxious and I kind of just want to go hide in the corner. But that doesn't mean that I don't enjoy what I do, though. So, my advice for you is to pick a job where 80% of the time you are happy with it, because you will have that 20% where you are not happy with it, and that you have those days where you just want to go hide in a ball and not do work, and that is perfectly okay. If you have no idea what you are good at or what you want to do, I would start by saying make a list of the things that you are good at and the things that you are not good at, as well as making a list of what you really love about a job. This can be from the hours you work, the days that you work, how far is your commute, how long are your lunch breaks, and do you enjoy, like, what kind of people do you enjoy working with as well too, and also what are you good at and what are you not good at. Make a list of all those things and be really, really specific into the nitty-gritty of all the details, because all those answers are going to lie within the job that you take on next, and what to look out for and what to just help you realize what makes you happy and what doesn't make you happy. And I think the last part I want to leave on that note is, do not define yourself with your work, because what you do does not define who you are. Yes, work is a huge part of your life, and it always will be, because we got to make a living. Let's be real here. But I really want to put that note onto it, because I think for the longest time, I would just define myself and my worth of the type of work I'm doing, or if I even have a job. And if I don't have a job, I would just think of myself as being like, I'm worthless, I'm not worthy of this, and it's, I'm not qualified, all those negative things. And that is absolutely not true. And even when you do have a job, even if you're really good at it, yes, it's wonderful. It'll make you feel confident and, all the good, happy things. But don't forget that you have a life outside of work as well, too. You are more than just a worker. So that would be my biggest advice on, when it comes to work, and finding out what you like and what you don't like and what you want to do. And don't be so hard on yourself. Don't trap yourself in one box thinking that you are going to stick to one job for the rest of your life too, because you are meant to do so much more than just that. I mean, if I tell you, I've been through a lot of different customer service jobs, from working in retail and being a front desk person, into the banking realm that I never thought I would be in, because hello, I'm a psychology major degree person, but here I am in the banking realm. So that's why I feel like, don't trap yourself to just one thing, because you are going to miss out on all the opportunities to really get to know who you are and where you want to explore, and how there's just so much more to you to life than just work. So, but also hustle hard and grind hard while you are young.
Having a boyfriend and being in a relationship isn't everything. I feel like I really had to learn this really hard lesson, because I'm not gonna lie to y'all, like, I spent pretty much most of my 20s just trying to find love and trying to, find that right person, and just trying to, be in a relationship, all because, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I am a hopeless romantic, but also at the same time, like in my early 20s, I really had the dream of wanting to get married, or engage during around the end of my 20s. And that didn't work out for me, clearly, because, I am still a single lady, which is totally fine. Like, I actually am totally cool with being where I am right now, crazy enough. I just felt like it was just one of the hardest lessons that I had to learn, because, you know, I think every girl dreams about getting married and finding their forever person. And, you know, I'm definitely one of them, where I really just wanted to meet them so bad. And, I spent a lot of my 20s, early, mid, and I guess even till now, where I, went on a lot of dates, and I have no regrets. I had a lot of fun going on those dates, and just, I always have a lot of fun meeting people. Like, I just think it's just a really fun time. But, I think it's very different now of approach versus when I was in my early to mid 20s. So that's where I will say that, it just isn't what it is. And don't make it such a big deal, because your life is more than just about who you are dating, and also your relationship status as well too. So just don't make it your end all and be all, because there's just so much more to you than just being in a relationship. I also wanted to add that I just think it's just so much more important to fall in love with you and really get to know who you are. And don't get me wrong, like it's definitely great to date, but I feel like it's better to date just more so knowing what you like and what you don't like, as well as what you want and what you don't want. I think that teaches you a lot more than about just trying to, go on dates and just try to end up being in a relationship with someone or trying to set up the dating foundation to be in a relationship. So, with that being said, definitely, fall in love with you first and enjoy the process of dating because there are definitely a ton of fish in the sea. I feel like there's still a lot of fishes that I haven't even met yet. So I'm perfectly happy with that. And it makes me excited to, wonder who will be next and, what dates I'll be going on next. Last thing about this lesson is that you have a life too and you've got dreams. Only you can make come to life. So, what I'm trying to say by that is don't depend on your partner for everything and for them to make your dreams come to life and for them to make you happy and to make you feel confident, to make you feel beautiful. Because at the end of the day, all of that is truly on you. That is your job to make yourself happy and to make all your dreams come true and to make yourself feel beautiful. Well, more so like what makes you feel beautiful too. If anything, your partner should just be the cherry on top of an ice cream sundae, but you are the main foundation of that ice cream sundae, babe. So don't forget that. Definitely educate yourself, whether it be on finances, investments, savings, budgeting, bonds, birth control, ways to take care of yourself, because all of that is just super, super important. Especially if no one is teaching you or having these conversations with you, you need to teach yourself these things because they are so, so important. I mean, how I like to go about with all those things, it just really depends on the topic. I feel like regarding towards women's health, I am the type to read about things as well as YouTube, and I'll even go on Reddit and type in the topic as well too, just to see what other people have to say about it and things like that. I feel like the more informed you are about certain topics, the more you just know. And I'm not saying that all these ideas are like concrete black and white answers, Really take what resonate with you and try different things that you know may or may not work as well too. At least in the process you are going to learn a lot regarding to that. And as well as when it comes to finances, I just think that topic is just so so important. And for that one, I actually go to my brother a lot for that, as well as even my coworkers, because I do work in the finance realm. So a lot of the people that I work with are very knowledgeable within the finance field. So definitely, if you can, seek out a friend, seek out a peer, seek out a colleague, seek out just anyone that you feel, can be a beneficial part to educating you in, really big things and big topics that, that will serve you in the future. I think it's just very important to be, well versed and, just knowing more information never hurts, because I always think of learning as, giving myself the tools and the resources to just better myself. You've got to learn to take care of yourself. I feel like one of the biggest things that school didn't teach me is how important it is to stay healthy, stay active. So you do need to teach yourself and learn to listen to your body, because it is telling you what's okay and what isn't. And really, really listen to that. What I mean by that is, if something is causing you pain, bloating, just any discomfort, please listen to it. It's telling you what's isn't working, and to really slow down and take a step back and really focus in on what are the things that are working for you. I also want to say, stay away from the things that don't serve you and that stress your body out. And also build yourself a workout routine, because that is just so, so important. Like, I don't care if you are working out by yourself, with your friends, or with a trainer. I just feel like it's just so important to move your body and truly stay active. I know for me, like, not only does it, keep me in shape, but it also helps with my mind, because up here is very chaotic for me. My mind is, you know, always thinking, and I am the type of person that overthinks things, and I do deal with anxiety. So I feel like working out really helps me to really stay in the present moment and focus on what I'm doing right now, instead of worrying about all the other tasks that I need to finish or get done too. I also want to say that peace has always been one of my biggest things, and that, breathing exercises, stretching, journaling has just always been super important to me. I've loved it ever since I was in my early 20s, and I still love it to this day. And I just feel like all of those things really just help me deal with my mental well being, especially with stress and being, whenever I'm anxious. I know whenever my body is anxious, it's telling me to, slow down and to just put myself first, because my anxiety is screaming at me that the more, there's nothing more important than me, instead of all these other tasks in front of me. So don't forget to just eat right, eat in moderation, and drink lots of water, because your body needs it and it deserves all that love and care. Be selfish with your time, especially if you do not have any obligations, whether it be children, a relationship, taking care of someone, honestly, or even taking care of a pet, anything, okay? If you have no real big obligations to, having to cater to someone or anything, or, that type of ordeal, definitely be selfish with your time, okay? Because this is the time to be selfish, when you don't have any obligations or anything that's, standing in your way to, do what you want to do, and, go for the things that really, that are really calling to you. Which leads me to, you are only young once. Now, I know I've already said this in previous videos, but truly, I really cannot stress this enough, because this is the time where you are truly the youngest you will ever be, and you will never get this time back. So whatever it is that you want to do, you truly should go for it, whether it be traveling, starting a business, going to school, taking on a certain course, whatever it is that your passion is calling you towards, you really should truly just go for it, because, like I said, you are only this young once. And while you are healthy and while you are young, you should definitely take advantage of the opportunity and go do the things that you want to go do. I think the biggest thing for me is, I don't ever want to look back thinking, what if? What if I tried harder? What if I did this? Or what if I, just went for it? So that is why I want to really push that onto y'all to just really, yes, it can be scary to go after big things, but it's also truly rewarding. And you know what? What's the worst thing that could happen? If you fail, then you fail. Like, we're all human, and it is totally okay and normal to completely start over. Because guess what? I've definitely had to start over quite a few times within my life, and I'm only 29, so that says a lot. So don't be afraid to get out there and do what you love and what's calling to you. Speaking of failing, this leads me to you are going to fail. And like I said, that is perfectly normal because in life, we all make mistakes. We are human. We're not perfect. And I feel like we are all going through this thing called life, and there's always going to be trial and error trying to figure out so many different things and issues and situations within our life and challenges that come along the way. And that's perfectly okay because, life has its ups and downs. But I like to think, when life throws you lemons, we do our best to try to make lemonade out of it as best as we can. So, and I feel like without failure and without the mistakes that we make, it wouldn't shape us into evolving and growing into being a better version of ourselves. So I feel like don't be afraid of failure and don't be afraid of making mistakes, because I feel like those lessons really teach us so much more to, what we can do better the next time and how can we improve and what can we do to make the situations better or be more prepared, or what resources can we have used for the next situation that's similar to what we had went through. So I feel like we it may feel really discouraging and disappointing at first too, but like I said, you need those in order to grow and to evolve into the best version of yourself. So you aren't going to be everyone's cup of tea, and that's perfectly okay because not everyone is going to be your cup of tea. I feel like the biggest thing is that as long as you are still respectful and kind to them and being able to keep things civil, especially if you work with them, excuse me, that's all that really matters. Like, it is okay to set boundaries, and you don't always have to be everyone's friend or pretend to like someone just because and vice versa as well for yourself. Not everyone is gonna like you. So I think at the end of the day, as long as you choose the people who choose you and who appreciate you and who value you, I feel like that's enough. At least for me, it's totally enough. I'm currently in line for Panda at the moment, but while I am waiting, I thought I would just bring up another thing that I want to tell y'all, which is, when one door closes, another door will open. I promise you that, okay? And I like to rephrase this as in rejection is redirection. So when you're feeling down in the dumps for being rejected, or when an opportunity isn't working out for you, or just things that you had hoped for and planned for, wanting it to work out and it doesn't work out for you,
just know that there will always be another door, a better door that opens for you.
Your actions do have a big impact, little or big, whether it be good or bad, that, of the things that you are doing. So I would say think about your own actions before you do something, because things have consequences, whether it be good or bad. So, and I also want you to think about that, are you going to regret this, or is this going to benefit you? So, next time before you do something, definitely think first before you do it. Appreciate the peace when it is peaceful, because it's not always going to be peaceful in life. Things don't always plan out the way that you want them to, but it's okay, because it's going to be so much more than what you could have imagined. I think some of the examples that I can give is just, I think a big one is just not being able to say goodbye to a best friend you thought you would go through life with. Or losing a job because the world is in a pandemic with COVID. Or even just getting cheated on in a relationship with someone that you were madly in love with and you genuinely wanted to spend the rest of your life with. Of course, there's more, and those moments hurt like hell for me. And it truly ripped me apart in the most gruesome way possible. But I feel like every situation itself has a lesson that it will teach you. And in those moments, it's okay to feel everything, and it's okay to not be okay. I think one of the biggest things that, if I could go back into those moments, it's to always just remind myself of, what are things that I can control? And if there are things that I can't control, I need to learn to let them go, because I can't move forward without just, being in that healing process of moving on. Don't ever settle for less. If your gut is telling you something, it's usually 99% right that something is wrong and it's time for you to go. So you can't settle for less if something doesn't feel right. Don't ever try to force things, because it only makes things worse if you try to force things to work as well. Be patient with yourself for whatever you are growing through / going through. Don't, push yourself too hard and be so critical of yourself. Definitely give yourself grace, because you deserve that as well too when you're going through a really hard period of time in your life. You are in charge of your own happiness. No one else is in charge of that. So make yourself happy, figure out the things that make you happy, and go at them. It's totally okay to be wild and let loose once in a while, because you need to sometimes. So enjoy yourself. Be open to new experiences, whether it be going to a concert, to an artist you've never seen before or listened to, or even just trying a new hobby, or taking on a new course that you just had no idea that you thought you would be going into but you're interested in, or even dating people that you never thought you would give a shot. You should definitely be open to all experiences, and just don't don't close yourself off to those experiences, because you never know what those experiences can bring you. Kind to others, because you don't know what someone is going through. So, because I have been sick, this is gonna be a long one because I feel like there's like 4 points I want to mention in this, I guess, this clip. So, first thing is, you know what? Get out there and go on dates. Because the world is your freaking oyster, and you aren't gonna know what you like or who you work well with or what you can handle in a relationship and who you want to settle down with if you don't get out there and experiment and have fun in the process of dating. And I just want to say, darling, love yourself first. Don't be afraid to be unapologetically you, because those who love and appreciate what you bring to the table will always cherish you, and those who don't, they will just stay far away from you and not want to be even close to you, which to me, I am perfectly okay with that. And just remember that confidence is beautiful, and remember that there is only one of you. There's no one else like you in this world that has the same experiences as you and that looks like you. So own that, because that is true beauty. Go after the things that make you feel happy and alive. Like for me, it's being creative, creating meaningful content, traveling, being around a body of water, shopping, creating outfits, reading a really freaking damn good book, um, working with fun, warm, and ambitious human beings that have the same goal as me, as well as even organizing, event planning, going to the gym, and just so much more. So know that you are more than what you do at work too. Like, you are also who you are outside of work, with all the hobbies and all the things that you enjoy and love doing. I believe you are meant to, do more than just one thing in this lifetime. I feel like we are meant to have different hobbies, take on different careers, and, just take on different roles within our lives, whether it be a student or being a mother or, being a working person, whatever you want it to be. Like, you are meant for so much more than you think. So don't ever trap yourself into just one box. And the other thing is that you can have it all, just not all at once. I know that sounds not the best, and I don't have any other way to sugarcoat it, but this also took me a long time to accept, because I remember being 25 and wanting everything. I wanted to be in a career where I'm passionate and I'm making a lot of money, and where I'm already growing and being appreciated and seen and valued by my company. And I wanted to be in a relationship where I'm happy, and my partner sees me as their forever person and I see them as my forever person. And we can both see marriage within 5 years within that time, and have our own place, and living near the ocean, and also having my dream cat. But I had none of those at 25, and I'm only yet to accomplish probably one thing by now at 29, which is, being in a job where I actually see myself in a long-term career with. And I think that's perfectly okay with me, because if all of that was happening right now, I don't think I would have the time to really
enjoy what is in front of me. And I don't think I would be able to balance both being in a loving relationship and trying to spend quality time with my forever partner and also be able to excel within my work and, take on all the projects that, my work requires of me to do, and also even be able to be in my dream place and take care of my cat at the same time. So it's not to say that I won't get there, but it's more so slowing down and appreciating what I have right now and just, building those blocks to get to where I want to go next. So take a deep breath. It's okay to not have it all. You will get there. It's just going to take time. And that's perfectly okay. Just appreciate what's in front of you right now.
Don't ever be afraid to walk away and burn the bridge from the connections or the things that no longer serve you. And, this actually helps make space for new beginnings, new connections, because when you are completely getting rid of something, you are allowing another thing to come into your life. And this is allowing you to start over. And don't be afraid to start over too.
I've been thinking about it sometime and you want to dye your hair or you want to cut it or you want to get that tattoo or you want to get that piercing, I'd say, you know what? You've already thought this long, so go for it.
It's okay to not be okay. And I'm gonna go into my last 3 while I am here at the San Francisco Hyatt Hotel. So I do want to say, in the nicest way possible, sit down and be humble, okay? You aren't always going to get what you want, and sometimes the reality of things is really honestly shitty. You need to learn to accept that this life is not perfect, and it's totally okay that it's not. You gotta learn to appreciate what you do have and all the things that are going right at the moment, even when things feel not good at all. And sometimes, you think you are more deserving of something, but it's not always going to be yours. And you just have to accept that it's okay, because I promise you what's meant for you will come for you when the timing is right. Trust me on that, okay? I know that just sounds really harsh, but hey, I'm guilty of it too. Like, there were many things that I thought I was very deserving of, and it did not wind up going that way for me. So, but I'm here now with a lot better things in my life that I could have, I couldn't even have imagined. And if it never comes, well, it just means that it was never meant for you. And that could be a blessing in disguise. Brings me to the second last thing, is to trust in the timing of things and the universe. It will never fail you when you really need something the most. And I promise you that. I know there are moments where it can be really cruel and you're just like, why isn't this happening to me now, when you really, really need it? But I think for me, what I've learned is that within the process of things slowly happening for me, it's made me appreciate everything so much more when I do have it, because you know, in the moment, I'm just like trying to rush these things and trying to, you know, push for it so much and trying to force it. And in those moments, I feel like because you're coming from a lack of attitude, you don't, you know, feel as appreciative in those moments. So just know that, you know, it is coming for you. And you've got to learn to stay calm because it is truly a superpower. And like I said, being patient in the process as well. If you know you are putting in the work and the energy to work towards something, it will. Which leaves me to number 29, which is you are exactly where you are supposed to be. Not anywhere else, not anywhere further, not anywhere behind. Just exactly where you are in this moment. You are perfectly supposed to be where you are right now. So appreciate it because you will never get this moment back at all.